Hello and welcome to my plant and equipment cost and schedule. In this schedule, I will work out the cost for an item of plant or equipment over a 5-year period. That's both fixed costs and ongoing costs over that period, and work it back to come up with a daily and hourly rate for that item of plant and equipment. This can then be used in tenders or pricing going forward as a relatively true cost for that item of plant or equipment. So we've got some basic instructions here. Input data, figures and amounts into the yellow shaded cells. So that's these cells here as we go down through the spreadsheet. Everything else is locked and will calculate itself. So the spreadsheet will auto calculate and provide results in green cells below. So that's these cells at the bottom of the page. Further instruction prompts are shown in italics along the way. So that's the likes of these items here in italics. This calculation is based on a 5-year repayment period. For other scenarios, please contact Primcos. So that's the 5-year repayments here. This calculation does not take into consideration the time value of money in the resale equation. Consideration can be made for this on the percentage value input. So for this example, I'm going to take a Hitachi 20-ton excavator. So for these figures, they're quite general, not entirely accurate, but these are all figures that you should have yourself when going inputting this data. So plant purchase cost, let's say 300,000 for this. Stamp duty on purchase, we're going to say it's not applicable to this. Interest repayments on plant over 5 years. So for this, we're going to base it on, say, a rate of 10%. This again can be left blank if the item of plant or equipment was bought outright and there's no finance. Plant insurance, this is going to vary, but for the purpose of this example, we'll say 2,500 per year. Plant registration, we're going to say it's not applicable for this item, so we leave that blank. Plant modifications, upgrades to make site compliant, again variable depending on what's required and the site requirements. So a general, say 20,000 to go into this item. Plant attachments, accessories, again this one can change. We'll say 25,000 for this excavator. Sign writing stickers, quite a small cost, but a cost nonetheless. We'll say $1,500. Unforeseen cost expenditures allowance. This can be like a bit of a buffer over the 5-year period. So let's say maybe 30,000 over that period to cover any unforeseens. And other costs is something else you can put in here, which might vary. Like it could be ground engaging tools or any kind of wearable items on the plant or equipment that might need replacing during that 5-year period. So that's the plant purchase and fixed costs. So this cost is incurred whether the machine is hired out or not. Generally, most of these are going to occur regardless. And then we've got the ongoing costs, which are kind of more variable dependent on the work the machine is doing. So maximum number of working days per year, based on say 48 weeks, 5 days a week, that would be say 240 days. But this machine probably isn't going to be hired out 100% of the time, so that's based on maybe 75% of the time, which would give us 180 days of actual work. Duration of working day, this is kind of for reference when it comes to the fuel burn rate below, so let's just base it on a standard 10-hour work day. Fuel burn rate is the average litres per working day. We could say 100 litres per day for this item of plant. Grease and consumables daily allowance, let's say $6.50 per day. Right, then we're down to the diesel fuel. Insert average cost of fuel over 5 years. This is a bit of a tricky one as it's quite variable. All we can do is kind of look at the last 5 years and how fuel has increased in that period and project that forward over the next 5 years. So might need a side calculation to come up with a rate for this. Let's just say $3.20. Grease and consumables has auto-filled, so that's okay. Maintenance and repairs, This depends on the item again, and the service and requirements of it. For the purpose of this exercise, I'm just going to put in 10,000 per year. Plant resale value. So this is say after the end of the 5-year term, 5-year period, how much the item of plant or equipment can be sold for. So for the purpose of this, let's just say 50%, and that might change either way, but let's leave it at that. So the cost summary, we've got the total cost of plant for 5 years, so plant purchase and fixed costs, plant ongoing costs minus the plant resale value gives us the total plant cost over the 5 years. So that divided by 5 gives us plant cost per year. And then below here we've got our results, which is the total cost of plant per working day, which is this cost per year divided by the working days per year. So that 180 working days per year gives us $747.61 per day, or divided by a 10-hour workday gives us 74.76 per hour. So these figures can be used in the tenders going forward, and yeah, should give a relatively true cost for that item of plant and equipment. That covers everything we got here. So if there's any other questions, just let me know. Thanks.